Welcome to Tennessee Time.
Tennessee time.
Tennessee time.
Tennessee time.
Tennessee time.
This channel is going to be about 4 families who left everything they knew behind to move to Middle Tennessee. That's Azure crying just talking about leaving. The reason that we're leaving California and moving to Tennessee, well, you know, before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Brian.
I'm Asher.
And we're the Heller family, and we're from Corona, California.
Hi, I'm Heidi.
And I am Ed, and we're the Francis family. We currently live in Corona, California.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Mike. And together with our son Scott, we are the Crows. We currently live in Rancho Santa Margarita, California.
I'm Terry.
And I'm John.
And we currently live in Queen Creek, Arizona.
So some people ask us why we're leaving, and they're also asking us why Tennessee. The reason we're leaving is basically the cost of living, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cost of living and a little bit of politics.
Oh, a lot of politics.
A lot of politics. We loved it here. We've grown up here. This is all we've ever known. And we finally made the decision. We said, I think maybe it's time to go. All right, so the other part of the question is why Tennessee? We took a trip almost exactly a year ago in April of 2021. And a group of us went. There was 14 of us that just went to go have a good time in Nashville, Tennessee.
Get away from COVID.
Yeah, it was at the height of COVID. And so we were leaving California where everybody was still masked. And we went to Broadway down in downtown Nashville.
It was crowded.
People were no masks. You thought, okay, I guess COVID's over. I mean, people were sharing drinks.
Places were packed. You couldn't even stand, find a seat, nothing.
Yeah, it was a really good time. After that trip, we had such a good time. We found out friends of ours were going in June. I'll let her tell you a little bit of that story, but we said, hey, you mind if we tag along? We wanted to look into buying an Airbnb in Nashville, so we went and we looked at some property in Nashville. So not only could we rent it, but then it would be a place we could stay, because we really liked Nashville. So after that June trip, we went back in September, then November, then December.
Wait. Tell them why we went back.
Wait, before you're talking about your trips, we went in May for my birthday, had the best time, totally fell in love with Nashville, and I realized that was my happy place.
Okay, so after Heidi went in May for her birthday, we went back in June with Kim and Mike, like I said, to look for a condo for Airbnb.
Yes.
And that's when Mike and I joined them in Nashville. We planned our 30th wedding anniversary trip around a minor league game, and then we also went to Dallas to check out that and go to that new stadium as well.
At this time, we weren't even thinking about moving to Tennessee. We were just thinking about another investment property for an Airbnb in Nashville, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but do you want to tell them what happened?
Nah, we won't get into that. Let's just say I got this shirt at the Jack Daniels.
You didn't make it.
But I didn't get to do the tour with them, So remember, this was back in June, and the thought of moving to Tennessee hadn't even crossed our minds yet. But then, with a little bit of alcohol, maybe some Jack Daniels, I don't remember, we were sitting around the pool, and I said, hey, maybe we should just buy some land and start our own little community out in Tennessee.
Compound.
We might have used the word compound. Commune.
And yeah, it was referenced not in the best way either at times.
Then the seeds of the idea just started to germinate at about that time.
Yeah, everybody agreed that it was a good idea.
Wait, Mike and I had already talked about moving to Tennessee, even before that, but we hadn't talked about living in a community with our friends. We really took that June trip to check out more of the Tennessee area, Nashville area, and the Dallas area because we hadn't really decided where we wanted to go yet.
Yeah, so with all things considered, I'm like, all these people, we're close, we love each other. What a better thing to grow old together, support each other in our old age with health, be surrounded by music and love, and take care of each other. It seemed perfect, and it became my obsession.
And retiring in California just didn't make sense. You know, the dream was Temecula, wine tasting, 50 wine clubs. I'd open a restaurant, we'd do wine tasting. I mean, that was the plan. But, you know, it just didn't make sense because California is just crazy. Retiring in California just didn't make sense. So this seemed to make sense for us.
And it's crazy because we're all born and raised here pretty much and been here for years and years, but California's been beautiful and I'm grateful for my upbringing and my life here. But it is time to move on, get out of California and have goats and chickens and horses and donkeys and have wine on the porch.
And bees.
I think it was when Mike and Brian were playing golf and Mike told Brian that we were going to be moving soon. And then a few days later, Heidi called me shocked that we were all talking about doing the same thing.
However the idea came up, whoever was the first to come up with it, you know, that debate will go on. There was still a fourth piece of the puzzle that needed to be taken care of.
Yeah, so then I mentioned it to my sister Terry, and she seemed interested. So with that, we all got together, I believe it was a Zoom, and said, is everyone dead serious? They all said yes, so it was full speed ahead.
Y'all called me here in Arizona to tell me about your crazy idea and asked if John and I would be interested, and I was like, heck yeah.
And my home office is in Franklin, Tennessee, so I kind of like the idea. And I had some questions, but I like the plan.
So then the crazy Zoom meetings began.
You have no idea.
To make the plan and find our land.
So this channel is going to be about our journey from inception to what's going on now, today, to what's going to be going on in the future, and building and all of the stuff that's going to come with having vacant land.
And emotions and all.
Yeah, you might see a lot of tears from this one right here. We hope you join us on this journey. Stay tuned. We will have updates. Kim and Mike will be the first moving, and you will see them packing up their pods. So stay tuned here on Tennessee Time.